Buenos días, buenas tardes, buenas noches a todos. Good morning, good afternoon, good night all. Safe practices. Don't forget to wear your mask when you're going out, and also wash your hands and sanitize everything. All right, girls. So we are in the second part of our Port of Spain waterfront. I saw some of your work. Some of you are still mixing up what is a cylinder and what is a cuboid. Now, the toilet paper rolls are to be used because number one, I like the height. Number two, it's accessible. And number three, you could fold it into the shape. So some of you, when I looked at your work and I saw your Eric Williams complex, aka the Twin Towers, some of you just left the towers as is in a cylindrical form. That's not it. Now, girls, this lesson is incorporating all the things that you have learned into art, making it fun and enjoyable. So I would like for you to please rewind, right? The beautiful thing about this medium is that you could rewind, look carefully, and do your best. I don't want anybody saying that I can't do it because I can do all things with Christ who strengthens me. All right? Also, in doing this, you never know what door you are unlocking on your mind. Some of you might be future city designers, urban designers. Some of you might be into engineering, right? Some of you might be historians because we learned quite a few things about our city of Port of Spain. So let's go on into the second part of our lesson. Let me just share the screen. Right. Let me get back to the beginning here. Okay. So we are looking at the Port of Spain International Waterfront Center. Now, when we say international, because we mean that this is where the world comes together and meet. Now, I got this beautiful picture of a silk cotton tree. That area of Port of Spain was once inhabited by silk cotton trees. See how huge they get? And I hope a few of you, you were able to, when you drove around Port of Spain, look carefully. There are still quite a few trees, very little, but it's just a remembrance of our past when the Amerindians once roamed here, right? When they once lived here alone before colonization, right? And it was known as the place of the silk cotton. So look at that. Look at the size of those women, two grown women, and this is just the root area of a silk cotton tree. So whenever you're in the Port of Spain, Mucurapo area, look for it. And that was part of our past. Also with colonization, Port of Spain, the port, international. This is what makes it international. It is a meeting point of ships, right? So here we have the ships who would trade either between the island or within the Americas, and business will be conducted and it will either go in the ships and then leave. So this begins the story of Port of Spain. Like Chang, we must always go back to our past. And when you walk through Port of Spain, girls, I want you to go and look at these things. Look at this and just remember, look at how far we have come. These simple indigenous people, this is what their work, their interpretation of what they saw, that is was their art. And Carla Chang just reproduced it in this concrete structure, which is still there for us to see. All right. What is beautiful about him is that he used his God-given talents. And girls, that's what I want you to do. Right. So the CONQUERABIA is a mural reminding us of our past. All right. Our first ever Prime Minister, Dr. Eric Williams, a remarkable man, a person of the soil, and in tribute to him, the financial complex was built. It is also a beautiful design in that underneath here, remember, there is a dam below and the building is resistant for earthquake. All these here are able to buckle should there be an earthquake. All right? What an ingenious design. And also, girls, let's observe the shape. The shape of it is cuboidal shape. All right? So I would, for those of you who gave me a cylinder, I don't want that. I want a cuboid. And some of you drew in the supporting arms. Fine. That's okay. All right? Some of you stuck in things. That's okay. All that is your creativity coming to part. I appreciate seeing that. Let's look again at the waterfront. So we're not looking at all these other buildings here. All these other buildings, yes, they do make up the waterfront. And now the buildings that we saw in the initial stages are now these huge skyscrapers. And it is a mirror image of our past, because our past, it was not skyscrapers of concrete, but of wood, all right? Earth, leaves, in it probably had all sorts of birds, all sorts of life. Now it's a different sort of skyscrapers, actual skyscrapers. So we learned that the Twin Towers are 92 meters. Now we're going to look at the Hyatt and Tower C and Tower D. Our last lesson, this is what we did. So we have in our background, and the foreground, the Gulf of Paria. So we are looking at the Port of Spain International Waterfront Center. This is the Waterfront Center. It was made with the mind Vision 2020 to bring our country to a developed country status. In fact, this is one of its kind, modern style, in the Caribbean, right? And we are proud to say that we have the highest high-rise offices in the Caribbean, all right? So that's something to be very proud of. So in the whole entire Caribbean, we can be proud of, hey, we have some skyscrapers, but I know with time, things are going to change. Now, the purpose of these buildings are, it's a financial center, government departments and offices are there. It is also a place, it's a five-star hotel. When we say a five-star hotel, it offers guests the highest level of luxury through personalized service. That means they have their own butler, they have their own laundry service, they're well taken care of, and a vast range of amenities and sophisticated accommodations. It's also a very nice place. You know, some of you may have visited there, you had a special occasion, you would have gone in the restaurant area. All right? So it's really a very, it's a place where you can feel special. Also note too that it also has cruise ship facilities. So when cruise ships come, they come here, tourists come, they're able to come here. They're able to come and sit and take pictures. There is a beautiful fountain there, and they could gaze at the Gulf of Paria. This place is very scenic on evenings for beautiful sunsets. All right. Another thing about the building, the design of the building was as such that it was an elongated style. So where the Eric Williams Financial Complex was cubical, this was more elongated style. It also has a curved surface. These Tower C and Tower D are curved surfaces so that the wind will bounce off of it. And the entire building, all three buildings, glass fills the walls supported by beams so that at any point in time you can get that scenic view of the Gulf of Paria, right? So this is an artist's impression of it, right? We can see also the yellow part. This part here lights up on special occasions. Sometimes you see beautiful lights. In keeping with another developed country, it does put us on the map. Also, it's also an elevator as well. This is an aerial view of it. So here we have the fountain. Here people walk around. You can take pictures. There's also another walk here. Here's the restaurant. We can see the pool. There are other restaurants on top of here, right? And there's a view of the waterfront. It's breathtaking. Another view of it. All right, so now that we have the view, here we can see the waterfront is held for the 5th Summit of the Americas. This was very prestigious in 2009, where we were able to showcase and sell products. People from all over the world, people mainly from the Caribbean, right? Diplomatic leaders, business people, they came here and they conducted their business in the Tower C and Tower D. Right? We can see it happening here. Summit of the Americas, April. Now that was a week of all these festivities and activities where Trinidad was showcased. All right. Here we have our former Prime Minister, right? Mr. Patrick Manning and his wife Hazel Manning. Also the former President Barack Obama. Here we have all the heads of states of the Americas all assembling in our little island of Trinidad at the Port of Spain International Waterfront Center. So this is something we can really boast of and be proud of. This happened here and it will happen again, girls. It will happen again. And you know, girls, in doing this project, I want you to dream big. You too can be a part of this project because it's still ongoing and it's still evolving. And there could possibly a place for you here, whether it's in administration, whether it is in entertainment, because there is an auditorium there, whether it is financial, there is a place here for you. So when you're doing this, I want you to let your mind run, discover. Let's get started. So we have our toilet paper rolls. So Tower C is 120 meters, Tower D is 98 meters. Remember I told you that the Twin Towers at that time was 92 meters, which was the tallest building in Trinidad. Well, when the Tower C and Tower D, it's now the 3rd tallest building, all right? So we have Tower C stands at 120 meters and Tower D at 98 meters. And if you would notice, it is a toilet paper roll. To get the curved section, I squeezed on either side. Now you need to press it into position because when you press it, you'll be able to get that proper shape. So because remember, at first it is a cone, a cylinder, right? So you need to press that to get the shape. Then we are going to use foil. We are using foil to give us the illusion of glass. Remember, the waterfront buildings are glass buildings. So we're going to use foil. So when light reflects it, you see how it's shining? That's when we go to the waterfront. Don't you see it shining? Notice how I am pressing down the sides. Now there's glue. I glue the foil and then apply it to the paper roll. And then I stick and I use my fingers and apply pressure to get the shape. Now, so here I have my 3 buildings. Notice though, Tower C and Tower D are not the same height because we learned that Tower C is 120 meters while Tower D is 98 meters. So it's just a little bit shorter. I did not get the height of the Hyatt Tower, how high it is, but it is about, let's say about half of Tower C, right? Then I apply the blue onto it, normal blue poster paint to get the blue looking glass. Afterwards, I needed to make it look like a window. So I just take my pencil, scrape and make the squares. Then we had to put the yellow top. I just put it down on my yellow piece of paper, trace it and cut it out. Yeah. And then stick. See the top? So you're seeing that it has an oval shape, like the curved sides, and then there's a flat shape here and here. Look at the building. You see? So here we have the oval shape, the flat shape, the flat shape, oval, flat, flat, oval on this side. This, however, is a cuboid. We've seen a straight side here, a straight side here, a straight side here, a straight side here. So look at it again. This one, the short one, which is the actual Hyatt Hotel, it is a cuboid. However, Tower C and Tower D, they are ovals. They are ovals, right? Oval tops. So they are curved on the outside. And one of the reasons for the design of that curve, the designer said, so when the wind blows, so whenever we have strong winds, instead of the wind blowing and pushing against the building, the wind will just bounce off and go around to the sides. Isn't that something in design? So those of you who want to be a next picture, because now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 skyscrapers, you might be able to design some other interesting buildings, bearing in mind, well, they thought of the waterfront, hence the glass, which is a beautiful sight, excellent sunsets, and also just looking at that beautiful Gulf of Paria with the ships sailing in, breathtaking for many visitors. You too might think of something else. Also, one of the things that they thought in mind with putting glass, we also have our scenic northern range. All right? Right. So here it is. You see my glass? Just scrape it out with the pencil. I'm sticking the top. That's the embellishments, right? Oh, let me go back again. Oh, so here it is. I have my flat top. I fixed the fancy design that they had on top. All right. And there it is. I put my buildings together. Right. So let me share with you my own up close and personal. I also added a ship. It's just one dimensional. I just kind of cut a triangle, put in a ship there. So this, girls, is my three-dimensional model. Let me see, do I have it straight? Good. This is my three-dimensional model. Here, this is our project today, which is the Hyatt, right? Then we have Tower C and Tower D. Now, if you notice, when you place it one facing this way, one facing this way. Because remember what the designer said? So that the winds will fly through and bounce off here. All right? This one was more or less facing the sea. All right? Notice too also, it is so much higher than the Twin Towers. All right? I also put in a boat. You can put in boats if you want to. So girls, I want you next time when you go to Port of Spain, go to the Port of Spain International Waterfront Center. Take a picture. Enjoy a sunset. Remember social distancing. So, I would love for you to go there. Don't forget, wear your mask. Don't forget social distancing. But social distancing does not mean that we cannot enjoy. We cannot enjoy life still. We could still see the sunset. We could still enjoy that, all right, with your family. Don't forget to sanitize afterwards though, all right? Take your picture. Make sure you're not too close to other people. Sanitize and come home. All right, girls? And remember, I can do all things with Christ who strengthens me. Be safe, girls. Cover your nose, cover your mouth, wash your hands with soap and water, social distancing. Adios.